what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be talking about the height of the foot when sprinting. We're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
Okay, so this is another edition of our constant pursuit of helping you improving your speed, understanding what it's going to take in order for you to get there. This is going to be, and I really like this curve treadmill. I know you'll be seeing a lot of videos with this in here, and I don't want you to think that, oh yeah, if you're using a treadmill that this doesn't end up being beneficial. I do think of all the treadmills you could use, this ends up being the best one, either this or like the overspeed treadmills that make it so you can go like really fast. But really, the curved treadmill, because you have to self-propel, it gives you a lot of opportunity to see some of the same things you're going to be seeing in people when they are running. So when we watch the athlete here on the right, this is going to be the main athlete that we're trying to correct here. And we can even look to see from one leg to the other. So as he gets going, right, this is at more of the start, and this is as he gets going. Guy that obviously needs to be able to improve the mechanics and ways, but we can see here on the left, right, that this athlete definitely a lot faster. He is, as he's pushing off the leg, and this ends up being a key thing, he's able to get that heel up to, around the hip area. This ends up being kind of like the low end of where we want to be able to get that foot up and through. We can see here, even with the left foot, he does a good job of being able to get that foot somewhat high. Either leg, he wants to be able to improve his height, especially as he's coming through. So the common mistake that I see is, and we'll see it especially here on the right, is that as the foot's coming through, okay, we can see right here, really low foot coming through, first of all, and then as the foot's coming up, you can see how he's just immediately kind of dropping that foot right down into the ground. So this is a tall athlete that could really benefit by being able to add a lot more distance per step, which is obviously a critical part of being able to run fast. And a big way to be able to do that would be being able to maintain a higher position within his foot throughout the leg cycle here, right? So see, as the foot's coming off the ground, he's going here, and then just immediately as that leg comes through, kind of drops it down to the ground. So there's a couple things that end up happening here. So one ends up being the quality of the toe off, right? And we just made a video yesterday about what that should kind of look like. But if we can get all the way up onto our big toe and get ourselves in a position where the foot is coming straight up and through, that will give us the opportunity to then be able to drive that knee straight up. So right here, with the timing, as he's pushing off, we can see he's getting stuck with that foot, kind of getting back here during that push off, right? So right here, his toe's off, and he should really be driving the knee forward already instead of being stuck in this extension, right? So now, even right here, now he's starting to bend with the knee, but he still hasn't really driven the knee through it all. Okay, so because he hasn't been able to do that, he's putting himself under a lot of pressure within those hamstrings. He's not giving his hamstrings a good opportunity to contract as well as he could. So one, the angle of how he pushes off and how he pushes off with his foot could help him in being able to bend this knee nice and quickly, but also being able to be stronger in those hamstrings. That's why it's such an important muscle when it comes to sprinting, would also help him being able to contract the hamstring very quickly, right? Because now if we can contract that hamstring, think of that, the hamstring does knee flexion. So if we can contract this hamstring, that would make it so then the foot would be able to go higher. And not only from a concentric perspective, would that be very beneficial. So the shortening of the hamstring would make it so that you're going to be utilizing a lot more of the hamstring, but that would also create the opposite end of activation within the eccentric, within the hip flexors, which are going to be eccentrically contracting, right? So which means they're going to be stretching more. So not only is he not utilizing his hamstrings as much, he's not creating the necessary stretch in the hip flexors to then make it so when his legs come through, he's going to be able to use that as well, right? He wants to be able to, you want to be able to get that foot all the way up and through as you're coming forward. So see how well he does at being able to maintain foot height as he's coming all the way forward and through. That makes it so then he could be able to come back and land with that foot more underneath the hips, so he's able to pick up more distance per step. Where if you can't get that foot high, you're not going to be able to land with that foot as well underneath you, which is going to make it so you're going to have more knee flexion and therefore not be able to fully maximize the sprinting effort. So that even though these guys are probably 5 inches in terms of height difference, they would probably take the same amount of steps they both play baseball, within a 60-yard dash or within a 30-yard dash. They probably take very, very similar steps, even though this athlete is significantly taller, because of the power production being generated with each one of the steps here. So if you're a shorter athlete and you're wanting to be able to run faster, you have to understand how to be able to contact the ground in a way that's going to be able to maximize force production to then make it so you can pick up the right amount of distance per step. And the way to be able to do that is coming from how we're contacting the ground to be able to cycle through from there. Okay, if we're not hitting the ground correctly and therefore not able to push off the ground correctly, it's going to make it so we're not going to be able to generate near as much force in the ground, which makes it so then the response from the ground, right, the reaction, every action is going to have a reaction, the reaction is not going to be the same. So when you're hitting the ground with a lot of force, you're going to have to absorb it, and it's going to rebound right back up, which is going to make it so you're going to get a lot of action here. If you're not hitting the ground with the right amount of force, you're not going to get near as much rebound, which is going to make it so you're going to have a lot less flexion within that leg, and therefore not be able to get the necessary amount of hip flexion through, or really knee flexion first, and then hip flexion to come through, and then the right amount of striking back down into the ground. So as always, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like the information, click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because this is going to be really the best channel to help you in understanding sprinting mechanics. I should really call the channel Sprinting Mechanics, but I do quarterback stuff as well, and I like to be able to do a lot of different things, and I would like to be able to get more into helping coaches be able to build their businesses as well. But again, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about sprinting. I started this to be able to help really myself in understanding sprinting mechanics, and from this, I've really been able to build a business around helping people improve their speed from all over the world. Send in videos, join the program, reach out to me for different questions, but most importantly, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you can get more notifications for when I am posting videos. And if you have any questions for me, again, reach out to me. Would be happy to hear from you, and check out some of those programs down below. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.